Hello, this is Gene Thorpe, Little Red Rooster TV, the never-ending improvement show. This morning we're putting a shout out to Encore Music in Autry, California, where you should always go to get any of your amplifier and guitar needs. Talk to the answer guy, Larry Gosh, or any of the other shows each and every time and try to satisfy. And today, what we're going to be doing is talking about a classic guitar. First of all, I just want to tell you, I was one of those guys that always wanted a J-200 guitar. And it took me many years to get it. As I've heard the stories, I read Vintage Guitar Magazine. There was a guy in there talking about how he waited for 24 years to get one. You know, it's usually on the wish list or the bucket list. This guitar is in such pristine condition. The only imperfections are minor little cracks, kind of surface cracks, that appear on many Gibson guitars over the years as they age. So, anyway, this is a J-200. J originally stand for Jumbo. They originally called it the SJ, and that stood for Super Jumbo. But then they shortened it to J. Guess what the 200 stands for? You'll never guess. The 200 on a J-200 stands for how much they cost in 1938 when they were first released. That's amazing to me. $50 more, you could get an incredible case. Now, a couple of things about this guitar are really cool. One of them is all the great artists that have played it. And some of those songs are, well, for example, Pinball Wizard by The Who, J-200. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, George Harrison, J-200. In fact, the whole White Album was J-200. Everything pretty much everything that you heard by Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, etc., J-200. Emmylou Harris, one of my favorite J-200 players. Essentially, the guitars that the Everly Brothers played, for the most part, were based around the J-200. Bob Dylan, Nashville Stylist. Eric Clapton, the Rolling Stones. So, why do you think that the J-200 was chosen by so many great artists for a recording? One reason is because of the tone. Because of the size of the guitar, it has an extra layer of low mids, and it's very full sounding, and many of the recording engineers in the world like it because they don't have to EQ it. See, I think a lot of folks in recording think that if you can get the original performance as flat as possible out of the microphone, the combination of the right microphone and the right instrument, and use no artificial coloring to the tone, that's the purest way to record. The J-200 afforded that opportunity for many recording engineers over the years. A little bit more about the history of the J-200. It was designed for a country artist named Ray Whitley. And Ray wanted to have a guitar that was at least as fancy as one of his main competitors, Gene Autry, who had taken a Martin guitar and customized it, and it had become the Martin D45. And in later years, Gene Autry used the J-200. Okay, the guitar we're looking at today was actually made in the Gibson Kalamazoo factory. It's got the little orange Kalamazoo sticker in the middle of it. And, you know, according to its serial number and according to a Gibson serial number chart from Gruen Music in Nashville, this guitar appears to have been made in 1969. So, great model, and I'm just going to talk about some of the features. See, these guitars, some of the very earliest ones, the sides and back, were made out of rosewood. The sides and back of this one are made out of maple. It's got a spruce top. It's got a rosewood fingerboard. It's got very nice large frets. It does have the larger pig head that's got binding on it, and the very nice inlays on this guitar, the crown style inlays into the rosewood. And this guitar is a beautiful sounding guitar. One of the most distinguishing features of a Gibson J-200 is the tailpiece. A lot of folks call this the mustache tailpiece. So when the very first J-200s came out in 1938, they started building them in 1937, and when they first came out, the very first 4 years, they only produced 100 of these guitars. Here's an interesting factoid. The J-200 that's on Bob Dylan's album Nashville Skyline was the same one that George Harrison played at the Isle of Wight concert. So, I know that this guitar is on the bucket list for a lot of great guitar players, and I've heard guitar players talk about, you know, gosh, one of these days I'm going to get one, and I've talked to many guitar players that have purchased the J-200, and most folks that get them keep them for a long, long time. This particular guitar belongs to my good friend Glenn Vineyard. I believe he is thinking of selling it. If anyone's interested in a great example of a J-200 guitar, this one could be available. Just contact me off of the website. And thank you for watching today.